There are about 75 registered shark fishers in Belize. Most of them have been fishing all their lives. They fish sharks for local consumption and export to neighboring countries. Local conservation agencies and other partners have come out against shark fishing in Belize. Though the practice is not illegal, they say it is unsustainable. Today, the shark fishers are meeting for a first-of-its-kind shark forum, and Fisheries Administrator Beverly Wade says this kind of meeting is important to the management and regulation of the shark fishery.
Over the years, shark fishers, as a part of their licensing condition, they have to abide by regulations. They're obligated to submit to us data, information, and it's an opportunity for us to share with them the results of that data, for us to share with them what we are seeing in terms of the status of the shark population in Belize. There are species like the great hammerhead that we have concerns about, and it's a species that we are looking at through the National Sharks Working Group and now with our National Plan of Actions of Shark to see how we could now wean out that species from the fishery. And so today is an opportunity for us to have a discourse with shark fishers who have been a very good partner with us, and for them to hear what we're saying and for them to offer suggestions too, because they have also been very helpful in helping us in bringing better management to sharks in Belize.
Shark fishers use gill nets and long lines in Belize. These fishing gears, primarily gill nets, have been highlighted as destructive gears. But fishermen Daniel Castellanos and Edgar Wagner have different opinions.
If you do it in a good way, I mean, affect other species, you could do it. If you are fishing for shark, you know where to go, how to do it. The way people talk about it, you mean to destroy other kind of fish, right? But no, when you set for shark, the shark is set for. And most of the fish then where you catch in a shark net, you make use of it. The only other gears I hear other fishers use the long line.
And is that as effective as the gill net?
I would say it's as good. Maybe, well, yeah, it's good because you fish selected where you catch with long line.
So why do you think, you guys who fished for shark haven't moved away from the gill net and explored the option of the long lines?
Well, the thing is, with maybe shark you could do it, but then in other fin fish you need gill net to fish it for them. So you need both of them.
Can you see the members, perhaps stop using the gill nets?
Well, everybody uses the gill net, so I can't say we will stop it because it's very important affect the association if they stop it.
But you've heard of just the destructive elements of that net. You don't agree that it's destructive?
Well, depends on which part you set it, because if the mostly at the time we set it on the mud and so no affect nobody.
In recent years, the issue of the use of gill nets has been at the center of the discussion of shark fishing in Belize. We asked researcher Damian Chapman if long lines could be an option to replace the use of gill nets.
I would think so. I would think it would be possible to switch out a lot of gill nets for long lines, and the question is that going to be any better? I think it could be. I have a lot more experience working with long lines when I catch sharks for research, and you're a little better able to target the species you want and so on. I haven't yet heard from the fishermen what their feeling is about switching between those two methods, but a lot of them use both, so they have some familiarity with both.
There was a cabinet decision that the ministry would now look at the impacts of gill net, to look at the possible negative impacts that gill net would be having on the fisheries environment, and to come up with some recommendations to cabinet. And that's a process that is happening. There is a task force that is chaired by the CEO in the ministry, And so that is an ongoing process. So there are existing regulations with regards to gill nets in Belize, but whether there'll be additional regulations, that is now going to come out of the work of that task force.
While shark fishing is small scale and regulated in Belize, there has been ongoing research into the shark population in Belize. Researcher Chapman says the discovery of a new species last year is good news for the country, but sharks are still feeling the impact of fishing, and there's no telling what the shark population looks like.
We've been setting video cameras on the seafloor as a way to see how sharks are doing around the coast. And what we find is there's some places where sharks are doing very well, like Glover's Reef and Lighthouse Reef and Kikoka. Oftentimes they're marine reserves or they're places that are far from sort of fishing pressure. But other places sharks are not doing so well. So certainly there's a shark fishery in Belize, so that means obviously some sharks are going to be killed. So that could cause some populations to go down very, very low. So what we're trying to find is the right balancing act so that there can be fishing of certain species, but it's sustainable, so there can be a shark fishery forever.
But at this time, we don't know necessarily what the population of our sharks is like.
So right now, we don't have absolute numbers on, what the different species populations are. Of course, there's multiple species we're dealing with, some of which are very productive, some of the small ones, other ones are very, very vulnerable. So the trick is to sort of focus a fishery on the ones that can handle it and avoid the ones that can't. And that's a very delicate balancing act.